I'm here, Mike Camley, once again, bringing some news and happenings from the world of independent wrestling, as we do every week. And every week now, I've got all my shit in order, so no more missing episodes for me. We're good
Yes,
here, Reg.
we're going in from here.
Yeah. And of course, you heard him just now, but I'm joined as always by my wonderful co-host, Righteous Reg.
In the building, it's your boy, Media Man, your favorite rapper, your favorite writer, your favorite podcaster here on Indeed, discussing Mike and I's favorite thing in the world, independent pro wrestling. Today, we have a super special, as always, episode because we get to talk about my homies. I like to call these people, Mike, now my home promotion. Um, I was thinking about it today. I was like, oh yeah, we got the podcast. We're going to talk about West Coast Pro. West Coast Pro. That's dope because I think it's been about 4 years now that I've been crossing the bridge over. Well, I wasn't crossing the bridge before because I used to live in San Jose, but go right up. But now I've been crossing the bridge over from Oakland to South San Francisco to see some of the best independent wrestlers in the whole world come to this little hot ass room. Everybody's having the most amazing time. And West Coast Pro has came from being legit just like a new local promotion that has like legit local wrestlers and people that you probably never heard of to being one of the hottest independent wrestling. Last night when I went on to tweet a little bit, everybody's tweeting about it. You're tweeting about it. IWTV, a bunch of people. Like, it's an amazing time right now for West Coast Pro.
Honestly, is I was live tweeting off the Body Slam main account last night because it's Thursday night. We don't have there's no like WWE on, there's no AEW on, not. So I was like, hey, I'm hijacking the Twitter and I'm
Yep.
tweeting about independent wrestling all night. I did back to back Battle Slam and West Coast Cup night one. And I really liked what she said about West Coast Pro. Kind of started as this like little local promotion that could, and now they did.
They did.
Like I live in Ontario, Canada, complete opposite side of the continent from California. West
Right.
Coast Pro is like it's like appointment TV for me on IWTV. If I know they have a show, I'm like, all right, that Friday night, 10 o'clock, date night. Sorry, wifey. We're doing that on Saturday. I'm watching West Coast Pro tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been great. It's been like that for a while too, even before we started, collaborating on things. You were always one of the people that was like, West Coast Pros, that shit, they do it, they're out here. And so to see them to be able to come to where we are today with the West Coast Pro Cup, the West Coast Pro Championship, it's awesome, man. I love it.
Absolutely. And like again, too, some of the talent that's come through there over the years, like internationally huge names, but the actual local talent that they've developed and brought to the forefront, like Powerhouse Hobbs, Alex
Yep,
Hammerstone, these are actual like household names in pro wrestling right now.
exactly.
And they made their name in the black and blue.
Yep, that's exactly the reason why I started going to West Coast Pros was to see Will Hobbs, to see Powerhouse Hobbs. That was like I saw him here at a show, APW. All Pro Wrestling been around in the Bay Area for a really long time, so I saw him there. And I was like, "Oh, this guy's awesome." I followed him over to West Coast Pro, and he kind of had a little hand in the creation of West Coast Pro, which is dope. Him and Scott collaborated on some things. Like he was originally like the guy, like Scott was building the promotion around Hobbs, and so I would go there and I saw him, and then I would see like now it's funny that Starboy Charlie. It seems 4 years ago he's a little kid, there's this little kid in the crowd became this person. Titus Alexander, all these people have kind of grown up as professional wrestlers here in West Coast Pro, and now they're in shows we see all over the country. And Hobbs is all over the world at this point. He's a made man,
household name in the professional wrestling landscape. Someone
right?
I'm really like. He's one of the people I'm kind of like rubbing my hands together, going like, one day he's gonna. He's the guy on the middle of the video game cover.
Exactly. Yeah, it's been a really slow build too. We've been talking about. I talked about it with him since the beginning, like when he had 2,000 followers and was like, "Damn, I just want to get to 5," and now I don't even know. It's so many at this point. It's just like he's made the big transformation, and it all started in a little room, South San Francisco, the State Room, and it's amazing.
Absolutely. And so Ed, you mentioned Scott too. If you go back through the Indeed playlist here on the Body Slam YouTube, we had we had Scott on the show. I
Mhm.
sat down, interviewed him all about West Coast Pro. If you want to know like the full history, upcoming, like, you know, the background story basically, and like the come up for West Coast Pro, he talked about all of it, the importance of their school and like building up local talent. So definitely go check that interview out if you're curious into more of the history and getting to know West Coast Pro on a deeper level.
Definitely. I'm pretty upset that I wasn't sitting in on that interview because I thought that would be awesome. I love Scott. I've developed a great relationship with Scott too, beyond this whole West Coast Pro thing, just to see him just like being excited to being a stressed out promoter to be, going through all the emotions. Like on show night, he's just like locked in the zone. How's the show? How's it? And he's just like gone. Like if you have like 10 seconds to get with him, you get him in. But no, he's
Yeah.
like the most accommodating promoter. All the wrestlers are always excited to work for him and work with him. But great guy, man. I'm so happy for his success and West Coast Pro's success. I've talked about West Coast Pro in one of my Righteous Wrap Up columns in PWI that you should check out because I love them's peoples.
Absolutely. It's funny you were saying that too. His one tweet today had me kind of laughing. He's like, "Who let me book 2 shows in 2 days?"
I was thinking the same thing. After the show was over, I was like, damn, that's a lot. He has to do it again. And he's just like, promoters, not just him, every promoter, wrestling shows are like, you never know, man. Like, even if you're hot, this could be the not hot show where nobody shows up, or this could be something where every show goes wrong. And he's had a couple of shows back to back where wrestlers canceled. So you have to go to that, and your whole show plan is thrown out. He throwing a tournament and one of the guys out of the tournament, that like puts a little wrench into it, or does. I mean, nobody really knows. Like it's some stressing. So he's going again tonight. It's going to be amazing. West Coast Pros added again, night 2 of the West Coast Pro Cup.
Yeah, we will discuss that absence tonight when we get through the card. It definitely plays a hand in the bracketology. Also, like, props to them for releasing a blank bracket, letting people like fill in their predictions.
People got so stoked on that.
It's like March Madness for wrestling. I fucking love it.
Right.
My bracket's kind of toast.
It happens pretty quickly.
Yeah, I've still got a chance for like my finals to happen and my winner to happen. They're both still in it, but like the matchups getting there have definitely changed from what I originally predicted.
Right, definitely. Yeah, I think real quick, actually, too, before we get into the West Coast Pro Cup, give me a little quick synopsis on how the Battle Slam show was that you're tweeting about before we get into it.
Oh, I'd love to. It was so much fun. So I don't even know where to start. Like, it was just it's the same vibe from the last 2 shows, but it's just like you can just feel the ramp up of the energy. Like the crowd was bigger, hotter. Like even that little balcony area that's like kind of behind the fans, that was packed.
Yeah.
The in-ring was incredible. Gerard Bonner and Shug D on commentary are like
great.
I would love to have them like on just more shows. They're so good together. Their chemistry together is great. They call the action like so. It's so informative and analytical, but at the same time, they're just being goofy and hilarious in between everything.
Right.
Yeah, the in-ring was fantastic. Chad Skywalker won the 4-way elimination match to qualify for the World Championship tournament. So that was the big theme of the show. A lot of the matches were qualifying matches to get into the Battle Slam World Championship tournament, which I can only assume starts at their next show.
Right.
Because pretty much the whole show tonight was qualifiers minus like the main event. Or last night, sorry. But it was just so much fun. Chad Skywalker was in there with LeBron Cazone, Jay Malachi, and Snoop Strikes in the 4-way elimination match.
That's a hot 4-way right there.
That was insane. Snoop Strikes did like a running sliced bread on the outside, but he ran up the ring post to do it. And then Jay Malachi came over the turnbuckle and the ring post, like to dive onto the pile after the sliced bread. It was like, that match was bananas. I loved it. Obviously, like the main event, we had Baron Black taking on Big Scrappy. He's Big Scrappy when he wrestles.
I love
it. And like, as far as crossover, like musicians, actors getting into wrestling, like probably one of the best matches I can remember.
Wow.
Like Scrappy looked like he was actually like he had definitely done some work to prepare himself for the show and get ready for the match. He was hitting every finisher from like at the Attitude Era and Ruthless Aggression Era on Baron Black, trying to put him away. It was amazing. Little Scrappy Cell is really good. It's kind of crazy.
Like, that's a crazy important aspect that people that have been like, remember when you were DMing me about the show, you're like, people years in the game can't do some of the things that Scrappy was doing. Like, years in the game can't learn how to sell and properly project that you're getting punished in the ring, you know?
Yeah, like Baron Black put him off the ring post on the outside at one point, and like Scrappy looked like he was out on his feet. Like he was, every time he was taking strikes and bumps, he was just like looking dazed and like he was actually, getting the shit beat out of him by Baron Black. So
that's awesome. Damn, shout out to Scrappy.
And then Scrappy even squeaks out the win over Baron Black.
Black just can't catch a dub, man. Just can't never catch a dub. This is the story of Baron Black's life, man. Damn.
Yeah, there's some history between Baron Black and Reg over Baron's record in the ring.
a little bit.
Just a bit.
He messed up my reverse Mayweather thing. It's not reverse Mayweather anymore because he got a victory. That damn Baron Black. What about my joke?
Yeah. Oh, hey, everyone beats Brandon Cutler. Come on.
I mean, yeah, shit. Yeah. So that's awesome, man. Sounds like a great show. Definitely, guys, check out Battle Slam. We over here at Indeed, we love Battle Slam. We of course have interviewed Baron. We just have a great connection to them and are going to continue to follow everything that they do. Can't wait to see that title tournament, see who ends up winning. It's going to be very interesting because there's a lot of like unpredictability. There aren't a lot of like guaranteed like this guy's going to be the one, this guy's going to be it. It could be a new person you're just discovering. It could be an old favorite. You never know. So this is going to be a great tournament. Shout out to Battle Slam.
Yeah, and they had some surprising names like qualifying for the tournament too. Like Chad Skywalker won that 4-way. Shoot Taylor beat Myron Reed to get into the tournament.
Oh, shout out to Shoot Taylor. That's one of Baron Black's student prodigies right there. He's a great talent.
Absolutely.
And Myron Reed's incredible. So,
yeah. Adam Priest beat 2 people to get in there. He beat Teriyaki and he beat Merrick Donovan, and he had Shug D absolutely beside himself with his entrance.
I love Merrick Donovan. That's a great gimmick. And Teriyaki, one of the most amazing names in pro wrestling right now. It's insane. And the transfer, we talked a little bit about Adam Priest on our previous episode, and that guy, oh my God, the run that he's on right now is crazy. And I love how the role that he plays in Battle Slam, because he's obviously one of the minorities of the show. So he plays his role so well. His entrance gets people every time it's talked. People were talking about it during the taping. So I'm sure it was amazing when it happened. What a great wrestler.
It was wild. It was wild. Especially Shug D made it that much better with the commentary about it too.
And Priest just didn't he just get another hot victory? Was it this week? And
he beat Kevin Koo for the Action title.
There you go. Yes, there you go. Priest is on his way. New Action champion. Action's doing some great shit. Him and Kevin Koo have been in a feud for the ages, just going at it back and forth, beating each other's ass. Great professional wrestling.
One of our awesome contributors here at Body Slam, Jameis, he actually replied to me on the account when I was live tweeting from the Body Slam account last night, and he replied to one of my Adam Priest tweets that he's not going to argue about it. Adam Priest is a top 5 wrestler on the independent scene right now, and I don't know if I can dispute that, honestly.
Yeah, it's a hard argument for sure. It's not an easy one.
There's a very, very, very good case for that to be an undeniable truth.
Yo, speaking of, did you see that Revolution Pro Wrestling in the UK is having a match, the main event of their fucking show? The greatest fucking, feels like 2 of the greatest professional wrestlers of today, back to back classics. Will Ospreay and fucking Speedball Mike Bailey on August 20th, that's tomorrow, are gonna go at it, dude. How this year, when Speedball has been going crazy, I think I tweeted about it a few weeks ago, like, oh, him and Ospreay have to have like a wrestler of the year off at this point. Like, who's gonna be the one? Because every time they have a match, it's the match of the year, and here we fucking go. It's like, dude, what, man? How pro wrestling is insane. That's just like a match that's gonna happen on Saturday with not a lot of fanfare. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like we should all be talking about this shit. This is crazy.
It's insane. I definitely have to look up if it's like how I can watch this, because how do you not put your eyes on this match at some point?
It's insane. They got to put that one up for free on YouTube or something, because like,
absolutely.
Where y'all doing?
100%. But like, yeah, it's and actually today I went on the Wrestle Watch podcast today, and we watched Nick Wayne versus Will Ospreay from GCW. That's the match that won the poll. It's like the thought of Will Ospreay in there with Mike Bailey.
Oh my god,
that's gonna be like, what a great timeline we live in right now.
We lived in an insane timeline. That's sick. And then Ospreay, oh my god, this guy, he just had classics with Naito and Okada this week, and he's gonna finish it off. Not even gonna finish it off, he's gonna continue it with Mike Bailey. Then he's going to AEW with his Aussie Open partners to wrestle fucking Pac.
Death Triangle, come on.
Like, dude, I can't even, like, just give Will Ospreay his Wrestler of the Year award right now. Well earned. I mean, there's some dispute, but like, yo, the dispute is crazy because he's been insane. What a guy. Professional wrestling, we're fucking spoiled. There's probably 50 shows on tonight that we can watch and enjoy and have a great time watching. We're just lucky.
Yeah, like, I'm actually having this debate tonight. There's GCW starting at 7:30 tonight, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna watch this until it's either over or 10 o'clock happens, and then like 10 o'clock, it's like, oh, West Coast Pro Night 2. And then tomorrow there's GCW. Sunday is just like dumb this week. You've got Wrestling Open and Beyond Wrestling having a double show with the White Eagle in Worcester, Massachusetts.
Oh shit, yeah, that's wild.
That American Rana show for Beyond Wrestling.
Hot card.
Wheeler Yuta versus Timothy Thatcher for the first time ever. Eddie Kingston versus fucking Slade.
Oh my god, they're gonna kill each other.
Willow Nightingale is teaming with Waves and Curls against the Kingdom.
Oh god, jeez, Lord.
Or it's the Righteous.
Yeah,
it's one of the two. It's one of the two. It's Vincent, somebody, and somebody. But
yo, how does Beyond just kind of do this randomly? Put this hot ass card together.
Well, they're all Beyond alums. You know what I mean? Like, that's part of. This is almost like a celebration for Beyond, because when AEW opened up, they signed a lot of Beyond's regulars. Like,
they did.
Like Silver, Reynolds, Wheeler, Eddie Kingston, MJF, Statlander. Like, they've signed so many of the regulars from the Northeast that, you know, like, the last couple of years has really been like kind of like a rebuilding and development period for you know, Drew at Beyond and their whole region, really. And it kind of culminates this Sunday. I didn't even talk about the match that I'm most excited for: Alec fucking Price versus Ortiz.
Oh shit, Ortiz is back on the independents. Let's fucking go. That's hot.
That's gonna be absolutely bananas.
And Alec Price has became kind of like since all those people are gone, you got to build up some new ones, and he's one of the ones being built up. So this is perfect.
Absolutely, the ace of the Northeast for sure. Yeah, that card looks insane. But then also Wrestling Revolver has Sunday Fun Day.
Oh shit, that is happening too. Good. Yeah, John Moxley and the Switchblades, John Moxley and Sammy Callahan against, who are they going against?
I gotta look this one up real quick. But
there's so much going on, you guys, man. It's insane how much wrestling. That's just on Sunday. We're just talking about one day at this point.
Yeah, like where I need I saw Tiffany from Indie Wrestling Corner today. She's like, how do I clone myself to watch all this wrestling this weekend? And it's like, share the technology if you find it, please.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, we need picture in picture in picture in picture.
Yeah, it's completely crazy. They're taking on. Okay, I thought I would have found it by now. My God.
Promote your match, you guys.
Yeah, I'm on their Twitter. They have so many match graphic tweets that it's just I can't find the one that's got their match. But like, they've got Joe Doring versus Manders on that. Rich Swann versus Blake Christian got canceled. Oh no, sorry, Chris Bay.
Oh, Chris Bay was
It
originally
wasn't
in the
a
match.
yeah. So now it's Rich Swann versus Blake Christian.
Yeah.
Which wait, hang on, no, because that's from the 16th. Hang on, I gotta look into this more.
No, I think that's the right one because I saw a graphic that says someone said that the Rich Swann and Blake Christian match has been canceled like 4 times too. So this is also like a thing.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So Chris Bay. What else is on here? Ace Austin and Madman versus Madman Fulton. Wild Scramble, Alex Colon, Gringo Loco, Myron Reed, Crash Jackson, and Man Scout.
Oh shit! Yeah, let's go. Anytime Gringo's there, it's lit.
Rascals versus Motor City Machine Guns.
And
it's it would be Zachary Wentz and Trey Miguel representing the Rascals in this match because Myron Reed is in that scramble.
Mm-hmm.
So insane show for Revolver. Like, how do I watch all this? That's at 5. That's going to overlap American Rana.
Time.
Oh my god, I need to grow a second set of eyeballs, like immediately.
Are you calling me some double eyeball scientists out there? What's going on? I need more matches.
Yeah, give me eyes on the back. Yeah, eyes on the back of my head, a TV on each wall.
I already watched 10 shows this week. We need 5 more.
Yeah, I'll find a way to do it. I'll find a way. I got two monitors.
I guarantee you will. I'm sure you will.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a lot of that stuff that you described is free. Like you can get it on, well, not free. If you pay for independent wrestling, it's $10 is what I should say.
Yeah.
And that's just a great deal for a million wrestling shows.
IWTV is probably one of the most worthwhile subscriptions you could actually ever like buy. It's literally like the Netflix of independent wrestling.
It's as an independent wrestling guru fan, all the things, it's overwhelming with how much wrestling is on there. So you'll never not have wrestling to watch. They have wrestling from early 2000s. They have current stuff. They have deathmatch. They have flips. They have everything you could ever ask for. They have super weird shit. You can get down to some like, what is going on here? They got it.
You can see like I've been flipping back and forth between watching like CM Punk and IWA Mid South in like 2001 and like watching Swerve and CZW in like 2016. And I'm like, it's just all of it, like everything in between. It's completely ridiculous, the library that they have on there.
It's amazing. Our show exists because of that. So,
yeah, I wouldn't get to talk about half of these shows, including West Coast Pro, the West Coast Cup, Night 1. Did you like my segue?
I loved it. It was perfect. It's great. Slid right in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Including, it was great, man. I drove down to South San Francisco, got there a little bit before the show started. People started piling in. West Coast Pro is interesting. I think maybe all shows in the Bay Area, because this kind of happens at Hood Slam too, is I'll go to a show and I'm like, this crowd, like you could tell it's a lot of people's first time going to the show, just because like, oh, what's going on? Why are people talking about this? But they all always get into it. Like, it's never like, no one's ever like, I'm bored, I'm getting out of here. It's always like, oh, this is crazy. This is something I've never seen before. There was like a group of people at the show last night that you could tell it was their first show. And there was a woman that was just like, anytime there would be a hit, she's like, how's this happening? What's going on? And then her and her friends start doing it, I'm like, it's crazy. It's wild out here. But yeah, great crowd for a Thursday night. People don't be trying to go to no wrestling show on no Thursday night. So dope of them to show up, and everybody showed up and showed out at the show.
Yeah. One lady brought her Chucky doll with her.
Yeah, that was very creepy. I was standing behind her. I was creeped out the whole time. I'm still creeped out. I don't know what was going on, and I don't know what was happening.
Well, hey, if you had to pick, I'd rather be standing behind the lady with the Chucky doll, because at least like you can see her movements.
Yeah, exactly. And I can see Chucky turn his head fucking 180 and shit and all kind of crazy shit. Yeah.
Yeah. I had to shout her out on Twitter last night. I kept laughing every time I saw it. But then I could definitely tell there was a couple of people's first time at an indie show, because the same dude got landed on like 4 times while sitting in his chair, and I'm like, bro, you gotta move.
It's like every independent wrestling show starts the same. Hey, welcome to the show. If the fucking wrestlers come, get out of there. If somebody dives at you at the ring, get out of the way. The homie was like, he was like, I'm not gonna stand up. I'm gonna sit down and take these bumps too. I'm like, yo, you gotta get out of there, dude.
Yeah, somebody straight up landed in his lap. I was I couldn't help but like laugh at it. It's like, oh, eventually you'll figure it out.
You earned it. You got a front row seat. Eventually,
Yeah.
you'll get out of the way. You're
Yeah.
not the cushion, dude.
You know what? Maybe he's got a mobility thing. Who knows? You know, I don't want to assume. Maybe getting out of the way quickly is not something that he's able to do anyway. So
Yeah.
you know, better to just, I guess, brace for it.
Hey, if he has a night 2 ticket, he'll know tonight. We'll see.
Yeah, and yeah, talking about dives. Gravity has the coolest. Because everything he does is just that, like, he's like just plank diving. It's the funniest shit. I love it. It's so goddamn cool.
They're fucking rolling onto the turnbuckle plank dive thing. I was like, I don't know what the hell's going on here, but I am sports entertained. I tell you that.
Oh, for sure. That was a great match. So Gravity versus Viento, first match of the night. My bracket is immediately toast because I had Gravity winning.
From the jump, it's over.
Yeah. Okay, so like, admittedly, I'm not familiar with either of these guys.
Yeah, same here.
So I was like, I have to coin flip this one.
Gravity's someone's brother, right? Bandito, maybe. He's one super popular luchador's brother. So
I know one of them is I think Bandito's brother. I think
I think that's Gravity.
Yeah, I think Scott mentioned something on our interview. He was like, I got something for the West Coast Cup. And I was like, oh, he's like, yeah, let's just say Bandito's got a brother.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. And then yeah, so I guess that would be Gravity. Didn't get the win. But you know, I picked him for my bracket, so we were immediately toast. But like, awesome match to open the show. Hot lucha match. Everybody loves lucha. Had the lucha chant going in the stateroom.
Yeah, we get super excited for luchadors, and West Coast Pro has been doing pretty well in bringing out some pretty hot ones. It's California. Anytime we see lucha, we love arm drags. We just love that shit in California. You know, we're so closely connected to Mexico. Those are our friends at this point. So yeah, anytime we see some lucha, it was hot. This was some hot lucha. There was arm drags, there was flips, there was plank dives, there was mask. There's all kind of great shit. There was a kid in the crowd with the Mexican flag, and the luchadors really enjoyed that. So yeah, great way to start the show.
Yeah, hell of a match. And then we get right into it with some Bay Area residents. Starboy Charlie versus D-Rogue. D-Rogue representing the conglomerate, but
yeah,
they were all in the first round of this tournament. The conglomerate were.
It was rough nights for the conglomerate as victories. But yeah, this is my D-Rogue. That's my homie. That's my friend. Like, I go to the show and I'm excited to see him. So it's great to see him in this tournament, to be able to get a shine. He did the promo. He's working hard to up his stock, and we talked about that a little bit last night too, how everybody in the conglomerate has been stepping up to be like, I said, like, it's because you guys don't want to get left behind, right? And he's like, yeah, exactly. Like, West Coast Pro is hot. Like, you have one bad match, you're on the bench, bro. Like, it's like you gotta work for your shit. And this was D-Rogue 100% on display. If you know D-Rogue, if you've seen a D-Rogue match, this is how it is. He's gonna talk shit to the crowd. He's gonna talk shit to the wrestler for the most part. He's like it's so funny when he comes out, because he came out last night and he's like giving everybody high fives and engaging with the crowd. But I'm like, you guys are gonna be booing him so soon because he's gonna force you to boo him. Yeah, he did this. He was talking trash to a cop at one point, beating up Charlie. It was amazing. Like, everything that D-Rogue was on fire last night. But a lot of people think that this tournament is for a couple wrestlers, and one of those wrestlers right here, again in the match against D-Rogue, the man Starboy Charlie. He's gonna have to be Starman Charlie very soon with the performances he's been having at this point.
Oh yeah,
great display against D-Rogue. Every time that Starboy has wrestled since he came back from his injury, it's been really dope to see him kind of do different styles. He's been getting stronger. Like, he looks like a different Starboy Charlie physically. Mentally, he's been just being better as a pro wrestler, gaining knowledge every day. It seems like every time they show a picture of, like, at the West Coast Pro School with whoever was there that night, they do like 3 or 4 nights a week at West Coast Pro School, and every time there's a picture, Starboy Charlie's always there. He's always there working on his craft. Got the victory here against D-Rogue. Not too surprised because, you know, Starboy is on the fucking rise. But this was a super fun match, man. They're both having a lot of fun in there.
It was awesome. Like, and Starboy Charlie, like you were saying, since he's come back, just incredible performances. He's wrestled Mike Bailey twice,
Yeah, that match against Bailey last weekend for
Mhm.
GCW was really good.
And that was a fill-in too. That was supposed to
Mhm.
be Joe Lando versus Mike Bailey, and Joe Lando sprained his ankle in the scramble the night before.
I think I actually like the GCW match better than their West Coast Pro. I mean, usually wrestlers get better with the more they work, familiarity, the more they work together. So it made sense that the GCW match hit even more than the West Coast Pro match.
It's that 20 times a month house show, Loopy. Right?
I should know out of everybody, right? Oh, shit, we wrestled 22 times this month. I love doing this. I don't like wrestling anybody else.
Variety is the spice of life, but
Jeez
familiarity
Louise.
breeds comfort too. So it's if it's balanced, that's where it's okay.
It's so interesting in independent wrestling because like we watch so many shows, so like we know when there's a rematch, but to a lot of people in GCW that wasn't a rematch. That was the first time they ever saw that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's interesting to be seeing rematches is actually super interesting because you don't really get a lot of them from like the big, like they're not putting together like a big Mike Bailey versus a hot guy every time. Like it's like he's wrestled everybody one time at this point. Like he doesn't have a lot of rematches, which is dope for independent wrestling that we don't have to. But when we do see them, they are great. We don't hate them because they're not overdone like other places.
I've seen Mike Bailey, I think, wrestle Alec Price 3 times this year,
mm-hmm.
and then they also tagged together like last week as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's really, especially with the talent pool that's out there right now. It's just like you don't have to book.
You don't have to.
You almost and a lot of times on these shows, you're getting like first time matchups.
Definitely
on almost
often
on so many shows. It's like
mm-hmm.
first time ever, this guy and this guy, and it's like I would have thought they would have crossed paths already, but apparently not.
Right, and then it doesn't take away from it either when they like end up like how they did Yuta and Daniel Garcia. Like now they're in AEW and they're talking about no, they wrestled before in the independents and like it's all connected together. It's really awesome.
Absolutely. But yeah, back to Starboy. Like, man, so Starboy, full disclosure on the bracket, he is on the left side of the bracket. This is my pick to go to the finals.
Yep.
Same so here. I was really hoping to see him get the win. I feel like I feel bad because I would have liked to see some conglomerate W's tonight. D-Rogue is he's someone where I feel like if I'm tuning into West Coast Pro, like I'm like I know I'm going to see D-Rogue either singles or tagging tonight, and like I love it because the conglomerate as a unit too have this great balance of there's a guy who can do anything, like every style is covered within the trio basically.
Yeah, and definitely.
It just leads to some great stuff. But yeah, Starboy Charlie taking the win here, advancing. Next up, we had the final boss of the West Coast, Vinny Massaro.
Yeah, boy.
Defeating Jor-El Nelson of the West Coast Wrecking Crew, because if I'm not mistaken, Royce Isaacs is like over in Japan hanging out with Tom Lawler.
Yep.
So they're drinking sake somewhere, and Jor-El Nelson is getting chopped to shit by Vinny Massaro.
There was some that scare when Jor-El brought Vinny into the corner. I was scared for my life. I don't know what was going on there. Very scary spot. This was great though. Jor-El has been building his name with Royce Isaacs and West Coast Wrecking Crew pretty often here. They're one of the premier tag teams in West Coast Pro Wrestling. It's great to see they're in Sitchin. But final boss of West Coast, Vinny Massaro. It's very hard to beat Vinny in West Coast. You see it from the entrance. Everyone's so excited. It's his crowd. It's his show. He's gonna
these hands everywhere.
Yeah, those hands are everywhere. Everybody,
the whole crowd,
babies are doing it. It's lit over here.
Like actual small children being held by their mothers.
Yeah, no, it's actual babies. Like they're babies. Yeah. It's great. Yeah, I love it. Vinny is here. This is a hard fought match. So hard, they would say, Mike, because Vinny got injured in the match. That's how fucking hard this hitting contest was. There was a lot of Vinny Massaro here in the match. There was chops, there was forearms, there was suplexes. It was brutal. Jor-El was showing his strength a lot of the times, being charismatic. The women were cheering for him when he'd do a big slam. They enjoyed his work a lot. He is a Superman's daddy, as they say. I'm sad about Vinny being out of the tournament because I thought he would get pretty deep. here. In my brackets, Vinny was going pretty deep into the tournament, getting to Starboy Charlie. That was going to be the student versus teacher type build up thing,
Yeah.
which I thought was going to lead Charlie into the finals. But
Mm-hmm.
get well soon, Vinny. Hope it's not too bad. Hope it's just a little. You're going to take a break and not, because he's been getting a lot of bookings recently, so it'll be hard to, for that to be derailed at this point.
Yeah, he's been all over the place. Circle 6, Prestige. He's been doing it all too. Like he's working some hardcore matches and stuff. Like
he's been doing some stuff out here in Portland. They have some he's booking. He's in the Bay Area. Like he's busy, dude. This is not the time for something like this.
Yeah, get well soon, Vinny. Definitely a great match.
Yep.
Sad that Vinny can't move on in the tournament. Much like yourself, my bracket, I did have Vinny winning this one because same thing. I was like, all right, Vinny and Charlie are going to meet in the semifinal, and we're going to get like the master versus the pupil. And Charlie's going to overcome his teacher and make it to the finals.
That was going to be a great match.
Oh, for sure. So, yeah, I had high hopes for that. But again, hopefully we see Vinny back in the ring sooner than later in good health.
Yes.
Then the next match we had some more conglomerate action. Midas Creed taking on Commander. This was another match that messed my bracket up because I had Midas Creed winning this one. I thought, you know what? This is going to be Midas's
This
day.
is going to be the one the one of the conglomerate that makes it through. You thought it would be Midas.
I was like, you know what? Yeah, Midas versus Commander, and he's going to hold his own against Commander and actually surprise him with because like I said about the conglomerate where everyone has kind of like a style and a specialty. Midas is the conglomerate's resident aerial man.
Yes,
he is. He is an anti-gravity wrestler, and I was like, you know what? He's gonna surprise Commander.
He could have been the one to do it. I definitely think out of the three that he could have been the one to get the victory here. Beyond that, though, this is probably my favorite showing from Midas. He showed a lot of veteran instincts. He controlled a lot of the match. He was in there showing that, I couldn't get this victory. We know Commander is. I was distracted a lot of the match. I'm gonna be honest because I was trying to figure out how Commander was gonna do his running flip down. I was like, where's he gonna do? Like the whole match, I'm just thinking, where's he gonna flip to? And you guys better move, but he didn't end up doing the big one.
But all the chandeliers. How is he gonna run those ropes?
I don't know, man. I'm confused. I'm still confused about it. I'm like, I have to go and see how he does this. That's the most important thing for tonight. But yeah, it's Commander. We've been obsessing over Commander the last 4 or 5 weeks of him being out here, just blowing our minds every weekend, doing fucking rope walking flips and shooting star presses and 450 splashes. It was on display here. Midas was brought it to him though. He hit him with an outside. He moonsault to the outside. They were on the outside. Midas was not playing. Got into the ring, was forearming. Like he was bringing the fight to him, but just not enough. Commander has the momentum behind him, fans behind him, flips behind him, everything you need to get the victory like he did here.
Yeah, could not put away the gift machine.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I made a boo-boo this week. We were going to introduce a new segment.
That's right.
We were going to do a GIF of the week. So this is me calling myself out for forgetting. And this is how I'll be accountable for next week to remember is
next week we're going to have GIF of the week. We have a couple of things that we're going to add into the show to, create a little bit more flow. And it's just not us talking. You guys love us just talking. But we want to add a little extras in here. And GIF of the week is going to start us out. We're not going to have the GIF of the week today, but we're going to have it next week and probably be Commander. He's ready for it. He's like, yo, just get my gifts ready, you guys. I don't care what's happening.
Yeah, it's going to be Commander for sure. Probably like the way he finished Midas, even like he ran half the ropes and 450 into the ring to get the pin on Midas. Although, honestly, the next match, there was a pretty gifable moment in here too between Masha Slamovich and Alpha Zoe. A little bit of a stage dive onto a wonderfully constructed pile of definitely not folding chairs.
Not at all. Definitely not. A wrestler should be thrown on top of these chairs. Chairs, these are not for that, you guys. Yeah, this was actually, I think, my favorite match. No, the main event was my favorite match of the night. This was my second favorite match of the night. I think, again, my favorite showing from Alpha Zoe. Alpha Zoe has a lot to prove. One of my favorite guys coming up. He's improved his mental, he's improved his body, he's improved everything within the last year. So he could be one of those ones. He's not going to be left behind. And this was a great, great, great showing here. Masha Slamovich is just on her trajectory is all the way up. Every time she has a match, it's great. And it was on display here. She was beating some Zoe ass. She threw one of those hard ass chairs at him. And it's like, that's not, no, that hurts. Yeah. They got up to my area where they did the dive. I was standing over that area. And yeah, I was very nervous. Anytime they start setting up a little thing or they're going to go over that, I'm like, these chairs hurt you guys. This is real. So yeah, but great hard fought battle. Zoe hit Dr. Bomb. That was awesome. There was a couple of knees in there, but Masha's just a hard nose, hard ass motherfucker. She's gonna beat you up. She's gonna make you suffer. She's gonna drop you on your head. She's gonna suplex you. She's gonna kick you. She's gonna do everything she can to get the victory. She's one of the she could potentially get the victory though, win the whole tournament here. Like,
oh yeah,
she could be a dark horse. I'm not counting her out at all.
No, definitely. I don't think you can ever count Masha out. Like, she's honestly, like, for me personally, right up there in that Adam Priest conversation of like undeniably top 5 on the independents for sure.
I agree. Must see every time she has the match announced. Must see. You have to see the Masha match of the show.
Oh yeah. She's wrestling Becca at Beyond Wrestling this Sunday too. She's got a test tonight in the West Coast Cup too. We'll find out her opponent in a couple more matches as we get through things.
Shout out to that match she had with Jimmy Lloyd out here in San Francisco for GCW. Yeah. That match was awesome, man. I like that match a lot. I want to give a shout out to that because I'm a huge Jimmy Lloyd fan. So anytime I can say the homie Jimmy fucking Lloyd's name on here, I'm gonna shout him out.
You know what? Hey, if we're gonna shout out Masha matches, shout out to her and Delmi Exo in the Russian Chain match at Limitless last week. That was fucking phenomenal. Delmi Exo got a really hard fought win over Masha in that one, but like that match was brutal. Delmi got a gusset plate in the head and just was Muda face, and they were just beating each other and choking each other with a chain. Crazy match, super fun. What did we have up next in the tournament? Yes. Nick Wayne versus the Bounty Hunter Brian Keith.
Oh man, this one I was looking forward to. Brian Keith, I'm such a huge fan. Bounty Hunter Brian Keith, Texas Screwed Up Boy, sponsored by Swisher House, still tipping off for foes, blaring across the speakers. Can't be happier than me at this moment. Of course, against another one who could potentially get the victory, is primed to win this whole tournament. 17-year-old prodigy, indeed favorite, Nick Wayne. This match was awesome. I loved it. Everything you love about both those wrestlers you get here. Keith started off before the bell, just letting Nick Wayne know it's not a fucking joke. Nick Wayne selling the leg really well throughout the match. From the beginning, he was playing that comeback babyface role, the thing that you love to see out of Nick Wayne. These guys put together a banger, man.
I'll pull that back up later, but I was getting the bracket ready to pull up later. But
I'm like, who's coming onto our show like this? What's going on here?
No, we're doing some producer magic here while you're talking all about this fantastic match. That was kind of my question for this match was, can Nick Wayne survive Brian Keith?
Right.
And he got tested, but man, I love watching Brian Keith wrestle because he's so set in his style.
Yep.
But he can wrestle against anyone else of any style and do his thing, and then also like take their moves.
He fits in every style of match. He fits in. When at WrestleMania weekend, I was like, "How haven't you been a part of Bloodsport?" Is my question. I think he'd be a great addition to Bloodsport. The style of wrestling that he does, I'm like, yo, they got to get Brian Keith on Bloodsport, man. He'd fit in so well there.
against anyone too, please. Oh man, I'm sitting here thinking about like Brian Keith versus Biff Busick now or something. And
I'm saying it's a fight. It's a fucking fight. So yeah, next blood sport, please contact Brian Keith. He is one of the guys that can be out there, throw them fists, throw them knees, badass motherfucker. But couldn't get the victory here against somebody. And Nick Wayne in the West Coast is another one that is hard to beat because he has the fans behind him. He has everything. He's growing up too here in West Coast Pros, growing up before our eyes every weekend on every promotion. So
yeah, he's a Seattle boy, but like honestly, West Coast Pro it feels like he's like home there. You see the reaction he gets. Honestly, anywhere in the country, really though.
Yeah,
like
it's everywhere.
I got to so Tom Talks Rubbish. You and I both had interviews with him. I did Wrestle Watch with him today, and we watched Nick Wayne versus Will Ospreay, and it was his first time seeing Nick Wayne, and just his pure unfiltered reaction to like, he's how old? Doing what? It's like
he's in a main event against Ospreay. What the hell? He's 17. That's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely insane. Like, can't put Nick Wayne over enough. I should probably put him over less. We're gonna make his head too big. But
seriously,
he seems he's
gonna turn 18. He's like, you guys all told me I'm a bad motherfucker. I am, and shut up. Leave me alone.
Yeah, no, I said it today. Like within the next decade, Nick Wayne's going to be like a world champion on TV somewhere.
Yeah,
like,
and of course we are kidding. He is a phenomenal young dude, very approachable, great kid.
Yeah,
he's on his way. He deserves it
for sure. Okay, and I've got this bracket covering up my card now. See, there we go. All right, so then we had West Coast staple Levi Shapiro. West Coast Pro, another homegrown from West Coast Pro taking on was supposed to be Davey Richards, last minute fill in like with hours notice, Alan Angels. This was one of my favorite matches of the night. Levi Shapiro is the timeless one, and it makes total sense when you see everything he does in there. His whole offense is like tried and tested, just dope wrestling that you could have pulled out of any era in the last 50 years. And it still works today. It's 2022 and he's in there with Alan Angels and he's just hitting him with body slams and suplexes and backbreakers and stuff. But it's like Levi owns it.
Yeah. Like, it's a throwback, as they say, a throwback to your favorites, fucking beer drinking, bar fighting wrestlers of the 80s that were just, they didn't look like they didn't look like Hogan, but like, don't fight them in the bar. They'll kill you. They'll murder you. Those type of guys. So yeah, Levi brings that kind of energy to his matches. You'll see a power slam. You'll see see a fist drop. You'll see, the claw. He's one of those throwback guys. And Alan Angels, since he's been since he stopped working with AEW, has been building his stock too. I'm not 5 anymore, you guys. Like, I'm this now. I want to say that he has to be stationed in California recently because he's been pretty closely connected with West Coast Pro, and he's been doing a lot of promotions out here, and to be able to get prestige to be able to get him on short notice. He has to be somewhere in the West Coast area. And to be honest, I'm loving it because to be able to see him all these shows has been great because he's a great talent, man. He can work like a motherfucker. He can work heel. He can work babyface. He mixes up many different styles. And with Levi here, he got to kind of lead the way. But Levi is just too much for him. Levi has has a chip on his shoulder, as we see with all his promos. Feels like he has something to prove every show. So he proved it.
Well, he missed some time with injury, so like he's got that, like, I got kind of passed over while I was out, and I watched everybody, everybody that I was on par with is like getting ahead of me now while I was out on the bench, and now that he's healthy and he's back in the ring, he's playing catch up, and like he's just burning through people.
Exactly.
He's formed a little tag team with one called Manders, which is like that. Give me that all day.
I think that's one of the most perfect fitting pairings right there. They're going to be, of course, to be reckoned with. Levi, that's a great contrast to his style is Manders. So I'm excited to see what they do together.
Oh yeah, those two go together like peas and carrots.
They do.
But yeah, Levi gets the win over Allen Angels here. Hit him with a big fat pile driver.
Mm.
But yeah, no. Again, shout out to Unchained Allen Angels, who
Mm-hmm.
he's not working 10-man tags on Dark every week, and he's
Nope.
just getting to go out there and have some dope singles matches with the best talent on the indies.
You love wrestlers when you can feel that they're having a great time, and Allen Angels feels like he's having a great time out there. It's like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, working by myself, working these wrestlers, working the best in the world to become one of the best in the world. So shout out to Double A.
Yeah, Double A.
Mhm.
And the last tournament opening round match of the night, Titus Alexander.
My pick to win this whole thing, the young future franchise, Titus Alexander, baby. Another replacement he's taken on. We were a little bit sad about what happened with the match. Originally, it was supposed to be Titus Alexander wrestling Lee Moriarty. But, I mean, when you get the replacement of Lee Moriarty to be a legendary figure like Chris Sabin from one of the greatest tag teams of all time, like, I'll take it. Yes, I will take that replacement.
It's hard to be too sad about that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't get me wrong, Titus versus Lee would have been absolutely dope to watch, but also, very likely that we'll just see that down the road anyway at some point.
It'll happen somewhere, definitely. It's not the end. It's not the last of that. But Chris Sabin, like I said, a legend, former TNA Impact World Champion, like he's been around the world many times. And this, he brought that veteran energy, those veteran instincts to this match here with Titus. Titus, as we know, the most cockiest guy in the locker room. He hates everybody. He does his entrance twice to come out, so you cheer him, but nobody cheers him. It gets worse every time. The fans hate him, which means he's doing his job perfectly and has been getting better every single match. I know I say this a lot about a lot of guys, but that's what's going on, man. This guy's an incredible talent. Like I said, my pick to win the whole thing, just because the trajectory he's been on in West Coast Pro has led him to this moment, has led him to what potentially is the finals. What my finals are going to be him against Starboy Charlie. They've been building this match they've been legit building this match the whole time that West Coast has been going on. Like, Titus came in as the young prodigy, the young guy. His dad's a Bay Area legend, Big Ugly. Starboy Charlie, we've seen this since legit a child, just being in the crowd, trying to be the one. And since he's been back from injury, he's been showing that I am the one. It's time. But Titus has been on an incredible run, being featured in a lot more wrestling promotions out there. Garden State Pro, like he's traveling the country, exactly what he deserves to be doing. And he was on display here in this match against Chris Sabin, hitting everything just perfectly, beautifully. He's had a great run. The match he had with Ospreay was great. What he brought here to Chris Sabin was amazing, man. Titus hits everything super clean. I think I've said it before in here. I like to compare him to like 2002 AJ Styles is what I get when I watch Titus Alexander match, man. He just gives me that. He gives me that fight, the way he moves, the way he looks. Everything about him is just like money. This guy's going to be somewhere very soon, so pay attention.
You know what? That's actually a very apt comparison.
Yeah, 2002 AJ Styles. The first time I saw Titus Alexander, I was like, this guy is giving me young AJ Styles vibes, man. I don't know what it is. And probably watched a lot of AJ tapes, I'm sure. Who hasn't?
Honestly, you want to talk about Garden State Pro Wrestling too? Like Titus Alexander, he's got their next show is next Saturday. He's got
that triple threat.
Well, he's got 2 matches on the card because he advanced in the open weight title tournament. So he's got to wrestle Brian Keith. And then
we saw them have a banger already at West Coast Pro.
Yeah, I'm very stoked for that rematch because that's one of my favorite matches from this year so far. Like the style difference between the two of them and the way that they work that together, and just that was a dope match.
I love that match.
But then like later in the night, he's got a triple threat with Matt Sydal and Michael Oku,
bro,
and that's that is his wheelhouse. Like that's
oh my god, Michael Oku's incredible. You guys have to see this triple threat match is going to be insane. Shout out to Titus.
That's going to be 3 guys wrestling 100 miles an hour from bell to bell. that whole match.
Big facts.
That's going to be wild.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so Titus Alexander advancing in the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So before we get to the main event,
yep,
I'm going to do this right this time. And boom, we're going to pull up the bracket.
Yes.
So we've got so advancing in the second round now, we've got Levi Shapiro taking on Starboy Charlie. Battle of West Coast mainstays there.
Yep.
Vinny Massaro unfortunately injured, so he will be pulling out of the tournament. So Commander advances straight to the semifinals.
Mm-hmm.
On the other side, we've got Viento versus Nick Wayne, Masha versus Titus Alexander. So my final four here, my final four could, well, it's not going to happen because I had Vinny and Starboy on the one side.
Right.
And then I had Nick Wayne and Titus Alexander on the other side. And then with Nick and Starboy, or with Titus and Starboy meeting in the finals.
Right.
And then I have Titus winning the tournament.
Yeah, those are pretty much my semifinals and finals too. So it's pretty much going along to what I thought before the tournament began. We have some great matches tonight. Titus and Masha, Nick and Viento, Levi, and Starboy to start it off. Aerostar is going to be in the building, having a match too. There's some extra little things that'll be going on. Great start to the tournament. I thought the Bay Area locals got to get their shit off and got to showcase that this tournament is about the coast, baby. So I'm excited.
Yeah, and then to close out the night, we got a West Coast Pro Championship match. Jacob Fatu defending the title against Speedball Mike Bailey.
The big goose.
Right off the bat, I want to say Jacob Fatu is one of the most multi-dimensional wrestlers. Like, he will brawl all over the arena with you like you're in ECW, but then he'll also bust out some crazy springboards and moonsaults like he's an ECW cruiserweight.
Yeah, it's the styles, the many styles that Jacob Fatu encompasses is insane. He's a main event wrestler, but he could do, like you said, he could do springboard moonsaults. He could do fucking topes. He could do anything that your favorite cruiserweight can do, but then he'll also murder you because he's crazy. He's insane. He'll headbutt you till you die. And last night we saw him bust out some extra, some family moves to get the victory out of this one. So this was a hot match. Our guy, Speedball Mike Bailey, came out. Brass Monkey hit the speakers. Everybody loved it. Super excited. Jacob Fatu had some family in the building, so he had the support. It was going to be, when I saw that he had fam in the building, people cheering him, I'm like, it's going to be hard to beat Fatu in this setting, man. West Coast Pro, fams out here. He is ready to kick some ass. This was awesome, man. Of course, like, Speedball Mike Bailey's insane. Does what he does, that sliding out springboard moonsault that he does to the outside. That's just picture perfect. Like, every time is incredible. I don't even know how you do the spot, but Fatu bought the fucking fight to him. He wasn't giving up that West Coast Pro title at all. There's nothing that Mike Bailey was going to bring that was going to stop him from destroying shit.
I will never not lose my mind for that, like, baseball slide springboard moonsault.
It's crazy.
He does it every match, and like, good, keep doing it every match.
It hasn't gotten old yet. I'm like, whoa, that's crazy.
No, it never gets old for me. And like half of it is me calculating, like, where in this room are they going to do that one? It's kind of like with it's kind of like the Commander thing. But like, I'm like, all right, well, there's a pretty wide entranceway, so they're probably going to do it there. But like, every show, I'm like, all right, when's it going to happen? Because I know it's going to happen, and it's just like a waiting for it. And then like sometimes the front, like every side of the ring, like he did it at Blitzkrieg Pro with Alec Price. And they were like in the third row by the time that he hit the moonsault, and they're in my friend Jenna's lap in the third row there practically. It was like, this match was insane.
At one point I thought Mike Bailey went on his run. You know, his run when it's like this match is about to be over. He starts like ramping it up, all the energy, the moonsault knees, the kicks to the head, the corkscrew moonsaults. Like, he's getting into his finishing stretch, and I was like, yo, it's looking tough out here for Fatu, man. But Fatu did not. Fatu said, yo, watch this Rikishi driver, bro. It's over.
Oh yeah. you mentioning his like kind of closing stretch of moves there too. You're in the building, so like you don't. I don't know how many times you go back and watch the replay
Mm-hmm.
on these shows because I know you're always there for the most part. But I want to give some props to Veda Scott and James Kincaid on commentary
Mm-hmm.
because throughout this match, a lot of the narrative that they were setting up through it is that Mike Bailey is going to have to find some different way to get the win because there's no chance that he's going to get Jacob Fatu up for a Flamingo driver.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So like the whole match, they're like, well, he hit the ultimate weapon twice. He hit him with that buzzsaw kick, and I really thought like that was one of the closest 2 counts. Like I thought that room was about to, see
Super
Mike
close.
Bailey hold the belt up,
Mm-hmm.
and this was just a fun this was a good ass wrestling match.
It
Like,
was all the elements you need for a world title
yeah,
match. This was it. Like back and forth action, signature moves, the crowd's in it, hot falls, like everything that you need for a great main event. They brought it.
absolutely, yeah. And again, like Jacob Fatu, just keep being you, man. You're so
He's
awesome.
amazing. I love
Dude's
Jacob
dope.
Fatu, man.
Dude's dope.
He is so fucking Bay Area. I wish I could tell what the boy really be doing, but I don't, and this ain't the show for that.
Yeah.
Great guy, amazing dude, the big fucking oos, just a fucking madman, and he did it last night. Shout out to him.
Yeah. So
taking on the winner, they announced at the show, the winner of the West Coast Pro Cup is going to take on the West Coast Pro champion at the show Ride the Lightning in October. We're back over in regular San Francisco where we were a few weeks ago
for Irish Cultural Center, right?
Irish Cultural Center, going to be back there. So could be the big goose. We don't know. They haven't announced anything for tonight. They could potentially have a surprise title match. Like we don't really know. We don't know what's going on. So it's going to be cool.
Yeah, that show is looking real good already. They got some insane talent.
They keep announcing stuff, and I'm like, how?
Yeah. Well, like this is why we gush over West Coast Pro. Their shows are always like it's a premier event as far as the independent calendar goes every month. Like the West Coast Pro show on the one Friday a month is like that's
the one.
You got to mark it on your calendar. There's going to be it feels like there's never like a throwaway match. It's always every match is just hype as fuck and it has purpose. Also, shout out to West Coast Pro. They just announced recently the introduction of the West Coast Pro Women's Championship.
That's right.
Not a secondary men's singles title, not a tag team title.
This is the second championship of the whole promotion ever.
Exactly. They only have one other belt, and that's the one that Jacob Fatu holds, their West Coast Pro Championship. And they've introduced for their second belt a women's title. You know what? Hey, do you have an early favorite for winning that?
I think probably what it's looking like. Masha Slimovic is a big, she's one of the front runners that could hold this championship. I think she's been showing that she's one of the premier wrestlers in West Coast Pro. I'm so sad that Nicole Savoy announced her retirement recently because I think she would have been a great one just because she represents California. Like everything about her would have been great. But yeah, Masha is probably who I would say at this moment, just because, why wouldn't you?
She seems to be, as far as like women's talent, the staple mainstay on the the last run of, especially the most recent run of shows. Like she's on like every card. But
it's a very talent rich women's time right now. Sandra Moon's been out here. Like there's a bunch of very talented. Billy Starks could come back. You really never know, man. Like it could be anybody at this point. That's an exciting thing to think about. They're gonna show the belt tonight. I think what it looks like. So yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. And again, even like talking about West Coast talent, Dark Chic.
Yeah, totally.
Huge in California, Dark Chic.
That would be great, actually. Yeah, there's some
Dark Chic, Sandra Moon, Masha. Again, sad about Nicole Savoy. Billy Starks has been out there and showed out. Maybe at least if they're gonna have like a tournament or something for that, maybe fly in Shaza.
Yep. Yeah.
I think that'd be dope. The field is very, very there. Like what is it's a you could stack up a tournament with and
It could
still
be
not have
anybody.
really though it could you could
Mhm.
stack up a tournament and not have room for all the best women's names out there in a
Definitely.
tournament for this belt. Like you could do a round of 32 and have dope matches the whole way through.
Hell yeah.
It's crazy how many amazing women are out there wrestling right now.
Mm-hmm. A lot of unknown ones too. We'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so night 2, we kind of already gave our predictions in. We both seem to be leaning on Titus beating Starboy in the finals there.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that could go either way.
Mm-hmm.
Like if Charlie got the victory and won the whole thing here, I wouldn't be surprised at all. If Nick Wayne came through and won, I would not be surprised. You know what I mean? Like it's either one of those, like win in every situation because somebody's going to get put over. It's not anybody that wins a lot of things. It's somebody going to get like a push off of this.
We were talking about Levi on his quest to prove that he's just as good as everyone else, even though he missed that time.
Mm-hmm.
Could very well see Levi go for it.
Exactly. He could get a little upsetting victory over Charlie. Would never know.
Him and Masha are like the two, I would say, most powerful wrestlers. In terms of just like strength and the way they'll whoop your ass. Right. They're left in this tournament, so could very easily go his way as well.
Exactly.
Tune in tonight, 10 p.m. on IWTV if you're on the East Coast, 7 p.m. if you're on the West Coast.
Yep.
West Coast Pro, West Coast Cup, night 2. It's going to be insane. Reg is going to probably be there again, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm going to be tweeting about it all night. It's the West Coast Go weekend, West Coast Pro weekend.
Let's go, baby.
That's my thing. I reserve this night once a month for sure.
Exactly. And we'll probably end up watching some GCW and things this weekend. There's never a weekend that GCW happens where Mike and I don't watch it. So
yeah. Quick, while we're on the topic, couple notes about they had homecoming weekend last weekend. We saw John Moxley versus Effie in God,
I forget. There's been so much wrestling news. I forgot how crazy the internet went for that match.
The hottest, steamiest match of the year.
Did not expect that one from Mox, did you guys? That's what GCW. When then there's arguments and people are like, "What's going?" They're always arguing something that's a regular thing in GCW. I'm like, that's not anything. Like, what are you guys mad at? That's regular.
Is this your first time seeing an Effie match? Congratulations!
Like when people were mad, I saw they were mad that the fans swarmed Mox, and it's like, have you ever seen a GCW show, dude? Like, what are you even talking about?
Yeah, have you ever seen Nick Gage take 20 minutes to get to the ring? Because dude,
he does, and that's not just in Atlantic City. That's in every show that Nick Gage go to. He's swarmed by fans. I've been in one of those things. Like, this isn't like, what are you guys talking about?
Yeah, like let's also not forget that John Moxley has literally been on his wife's podcast recently and spoken about how he loves getting mobbed by the fans on his way to the ring at GCW.
Like, he likes it. He knows what to expect. That wasn't weird to him.
He is a big enough star. Like, PSA, he is a big enough star that if he didn't want to be there, he just wouldn't be there.
Straight up. That's 100% the facts right there.
Like, he doesn't need to do these dates. I'm sure he makes a very comfortable living being the interim world champion over at AEW. If he doesn't want to do this shit, he's probably not going to do
He does not need to be in a hot ass venue with a bunch of rowdy fans at all. 0%. He doesn't need this. He does this because he likes it.
Yeah.
And so if he didn't like it, if he really didn't like it, he probably would just say it. Like if he hated it, he would got on the mic and been like, "Hey, you guys, fucking stop." But he doesn't. He likes that shit. It's John Moxley. Come on.
Yeah, he's out there choking a man who's got his hand in his trunks. Like, dude, he's having a good time.
He's trying to use barbed wire. He doesn't care.
Yeah, no. That does look like they've set up some insanity for a future show, though. Nick Gage challenging Moxley to a title versus career match for the GCW title.
I don't know what.
Like, I don't know which way this goes.
That's what I'm saying. Like, is this it for Gage? Is he gonna lose this match?
Yeah.
This is also like I've been thinking like who's gonna be the one to defeat Moxley, and like I mean I get Gage. Who else would he put over? Like he has such long history with Gage. Like it makes sense to for him to be the one. So this could go either way because it's also like Nick Gage has been saying for a long time this might be it. But then he also says like you're gonna have to murder me to be like, I'm only way I'm out of here is if I'm dead. So
yeah, it's this is a really like tough one to kind of fantasy book predict, whatever you want to label it as, because there's very compelling cases on both sides of Gage has been inactive for the better part of almost a year now.
yep.
He's had a couple matches in 2022 with the tag titles before they let those go. So it's very probable that I could see Nick Gage just wanting to have one last brutal banger with his old pal John, and Moxley retains the belt. Or again, if anyone's going to be the guy to defeat Moxley, the man, the king, the god of this shit, Nick fucking Gage.
And shout out to Nick Gage. He looked great, didn't he? Like he's been working out with Jordan Oliver. Yeah, he looks great, man. We saw some videos of him online, and when he came out, I was like, oh yeah, he's really doing this. Like he's really trying to better himself. Yeah. So I mean, he could be back in the game because he looked great. Shout out to Nick Gage.
Yep, that's the joy of kayfabe. You never know. I will add as an aside, I do think if they do go the route of Moxley retains this belt, the only person you can have defeat him at this point is Joey Janela.
Joey Janela, that's how I feel too. Like when I did my Wrestle Talk article, the number one guy was Joey Janela because he represents GCW. I've said this multiple times. Like he is GCW. The only, if it's not Gage, it has to be Joey Janela. It just has to be at this point. So it's going to be exciting to see what happens. We also got a very cool, super dope, exciting announcement about what's going to happen in Chicago, Illinois. Big giant cage match. The return of War Games in GCW. Tag team fucking turmoil. Briscoe brothers are there. Second Gear Crew's there. Bussy's there.
Macizos. Yeah. And then the unlikely duo of Alex Colon and John Wayne Murdoch, who were in a fucking blood feud that boiled over to Cage of Survival this year.
These guys legit just tried to kill each other a few months ago.
Yep, they put their differences aside. They have some respect for each other after shedding all that blood. Maybe they're the game changer combat crew. They bled together, so now they're gonna fight together.
I mean, they kind of they have like the most advantage out of everybody. It feels at this point because they're fucking nuts. So, and like if they'll do if they'll do what they did to each other, imagine what they could do together against someone else. So
what I want to know is because this is definitely not your standard War Games match format.
No, right?
How are they gonna? I'm curious to know how they're gonna do the entry, like the entrance into the match.
Yeah, is it gonna be like both? Is it gonna be like one tag team at a time? They wait the 5 minutes or whatever, and then the next tag team come. Or are they gonna send individual wrestlers? Like, it could be shit. It's gonna be fucking nuts. That's all I really do know.
Yeah, are they going to just rotate one from each team to start and then get the partner in there eventually? Or hey, there's no harm in just starting all 10 people in there at once.
Yeah, nobody's going to be upset if it's just fucking carnage from the rip.
Yeah, but that's all out weekend. GCW's got some crazy stuff this weekend. Like they're in North Carolina tonight. The wonderful owner of bodyslam.net, Cassidy Haynes, is ring crew tonight. He helps set up the ring, and then he's just chilling around tonight.
I was gonna say en route, but no, he's there. He's doing it. The show's about to start very soon.
He's he was gonna be on Wrestle Watch with us this morning, and then he was like, I forgot I'm doing ring crew, so he's gone.
Hilarious.
Shout out to White Mike, who managed to get into the scramble tonight. So we're gonna see the GCW debut of White Mike.
Shout out to Bojack and the homie Diego Hill from DPW making their debuts too. This is gonna be an interesting show. They're doing a lot of kind of like those things, like debuts and people that are not regularly GCW staples that can become GCW staples. And then tomorrow night they're in Atlanta, ATL, with another hot show. GCW just never fucking stops, man. They consistently, when we're talking about the rematch thing and new matchups, every single show they have like 4 brand new matchups that you've never seen before. And with how consistent that they do shows, it's like, how do you do that?
This card tonight, the more I look at it, is actually crazy. You got Colby Carino and Cole Radrick on this thing. Blake Christian
hot.
versus Just Joe Lando, who hurt his ankle last weekend. So we're going to get to see Lando show out. Hopefully he's recovered. Andrew the Giant Everett against Kevin Blackwood.
Oh, shit. That's hot.
George South versus Effie.
Oh, damn. Effie's going to love it. Effie's going to have fun again. You guys are going to hate him, I'm sure.
Yeah. All sorts of stupid asinine discourse tomorrow when we find out that George South and Effie had a fantastic match that nobody should actually
George
be complaining
South
about.
put his hand down Effie's pants or something. Stupid, I'm sure.
Tomorrow's card from Atlanta, they make it like you were saying, they make their Atlanta return. Blake Christian and Masha, B-Boy versus Billy Starks.
Oh, super hot. Shout out to B-Boy. I love B-Boy.
We got Anthony Henry taking on Jordan Oliver. Nick Wayne gets his crack at Just Joe Lando. Cole Radrick versus Brett Eisen. Alex Colon versus Hunter Freeman. They have, again, a southern area local scramble. We've got Bobby Flacco, Brogan Finley, Hunter Drake, Rico Gonzalez, Terry Yaki, and Sean Campbell in a scramble tomorrow night.
Yeah, this is kind of like a showcase card. A lot of like new names, a lot of names that aren't very familiar with GCW crowd, and they're all gonna be pretty well, and they're gonna get over, I think.
I really, really like what they've done with both of these shows, where instead of just bringing like the same roster that they use up in New Jersey and the Northeast, they're like, okay, well, we'll bring our mainstays.
Yep.
Get the tickets sold, but we're gonna match them up with this crop of awesome local talent, be it legends or people who are on the come up or everything in between. It's great.
Yeah, it's a great way to showcase talent. I love it. It's going to be some very interesting shows. I'm gonna check them out.
Absolutely. I'm gonna have to. That cloning technology, boy. Oh man, we need it.
It's insane. And then like for me, I have like a podcast, Grapsity, that I have to like watch mainstream wrestling, so I have to also get in SmackDown and Rampage at some point to talk about that on the show. So it's like, you guys,
especially because it's like at the crack of dawn for you on Saturday. So,
jeez Louise.
I don't envy trying to your brain trying to process all this wrestling tonight is going to be something
right
else.
I'm thinking about it. Right, I'm like, there's a live show, there's GCW, there's SmackDown, there's Rampage, there's
you're gonna be at the back of the stateroom watching SmackDown and Rampage on your phone, looking up and checking out what's going on 30 feet from you.
Jeez Louise, what a great problem to have.
Yeah, too much wrestling is that's it. It's a problem, but it's a great problem for sure. That being said, we've got a ton of shit to watch tonight. We should wrap this up so we can get to it. Reg, where can the people find you?
Of course, every Saturday morning, I'm a part of Grapsity Podcast, having the most fun, talking a lot of shit, pro wrestling. You can find us on the Fightful YouTube channel. Subscribe, get to that. righteousreg.bandcamp.com. righteousreg.bandcamp.com. There's no always in there. I don't know why I said that. Coming out with some new music very soon. I'm about to start rapping. The PWI 500's coming out very soon. That's going to be annoying for the world. And the Black Wrestling's 500's coming out super soon too. So my life is 1,000 wrestlers, wrestling, and more wrestling. That's it.
Absolutely. And my brief shout out here too is going to be just I'd watch Grapsity. I love it, man. Watch it.
The most fun I could have is doing that show where I get to talk with two friends and yell and laugh and talk about hip hop and talk about wrestling and talk about weird, obscure TV shows from the 90s.
South Pole turtlenecks.
Man. Never know what you might. It's funny because it's never like a plan. Like I'm never like I'm going to say these things. It's just like you stumble into like how did I get on South Pole sweaters? Like how? I don't know. That's what Grapsity is. Find out how.
Yeah, absolutely. And for myself, my Twitter handle, it's right here. I pointed to the right side this time. Look at that. I'm learning.
You're busy, dude. You got all kind of new shows and all kind of shit going on now.
Yeah. So, of course, here every week on Indeed, my back's feeling a little better. My teeth are all fixed, so I can actually do this on a regular weekly basis.
Let's go, baby. Yes.
And then I was like, hey, you know what? fuck it, I'm gonna take on some more shit too.
He's like, my back's feeling real good. Let me get some extras.
So Game Changer Weekly is coming back. Cassidy
Mhm.
Haynes and myself are going to be hosting that, talking about exclusively GCW wrestling. Probably going to have some guests from the wonderful world of Game Changer coming on there. So be on the lookout for that. Bringing a Twitter homie into the fold here at Body Slam, and starting September 10th, the Saturday after All Out. We were going to do it All Out weekend, but he's going to be there. So, shucks.
Son of a gun. My two podcast partners are there too. Lucky Ducks.
Yeah, me and my homie Adam are going to be starting a new podcast, AEW All Elite Weekly, talking all the wonderful things and maybe not so wonderful things that go on in the world of All Elite Wrestling. Who knows? It's if this week is any indication, I don't even want to do it anymore. The discourse is fucking insane.
Oh my god, there's not enough time to talk about things with how much shit's going on over there.
Yeah, no, like they got to slow down. It's going to be a 4-hour podcast every week. If they don't, like, please. But yeah, so look out for that September 10th. We've got tons of awesome content coming out here. So just subscribe, follow Body Slam Net. The socials are right there at the bottom of the frame. Yeah. Body Slam Net Pro Wrestling on YouTube, Body Slam Net on Twitch, Facebook, the Twitter box. Subscribe to it all.
Subscribe. We just hit 1K, baby. Shout out to 1,000 followers on YouTube. We want more. So if you haven't subscribed yet, if you're in here and you haven't subscribed to the YouTube Body Slam, please subscribe now. It doesn't take a lot, and it helps us a lot tremendously.
Yeah, absolutely. And to show our appreciation for that, we do have a giveaway running. If you go to the Body Slam Net Twitter, more reason to head over there and follow us. You can enter yourself in a giveaway for a $25 gift card to pwts/shopaew.com.
Yep.
All you got to do, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to us on YouTube, reply to the tweet with a screenshot of you being subscribed on YouTube. And this Sunday, the 21st at 4 p.m. is the deadline for entries. A winner will be drawn. And follow us, and maybe you could walk away with a gift card, get yourself a free shirt.
Love it.
As always, I'm Mike Hamley. This is my co-host, Righteous Reg. Thank you for tuning into another episode of Indeed, and we will catch you next week.